Hello, everyone. Hello, guys. Hello, thanks for waiting. I think we are all here. Can you let me know in the chat if you can hear me? I see that Kate is asking if I am recording this. Yes, I am recording this, and I will be sending out the recording after the webinar. So we will start with a very short presentation, and then we're going to jump straight to expanding, right? Just let me start sharing my screen. It's a very short presentation. So guys, once again, thank you for joining us today on this group demo about how to get results in your first 7 days using Expanding. My name is Sebastian. I work as an onboarding specialist at Expanding. I'm here to help you. So please, if you have any questions during the webinar, just use the Q&A section that we have here in Zoom, right? Write your question there. And I make sure that at the end, we leave 10 to 15 minutes just to go through all your questions, right? So don't be shy, I'm here to help you. I'm promising one thing today is that after this webinar, you will know how to use Expanding safely and how to get results on LinkedIn during the next 7 days. As you may know, Expanding is a super helpful tool if you work in sales, marketing, recruitment, if you're a founder of a company, the CEO, for example, among many others, right? But especially as well, if you have a lead generation agency, please get in touch with us because we have special plans for you. Here's the agenda for today. We're going to show you how to set up your account correctly, how to increase the limits of your account, how to personalize your outreach, as well as starting your first campaign. And then at the end, 10 to 15 minutes for a Q&A section. That's it. Told you it was a very short presentation, so we can jump straight to Expanding. So guys, this is your landing page. This is your dashboard. This is where you're going to be looking at the stats of your running campaigns, right? If I come over here, I can see that, for example, today, 10 people accepted my connection request. I sent 10 follow-up messages, and I sent 23 mobile connection requests. I want you to picture that also you can change this date range. And for example, I can see what I was doing in February, right? And in February, I was using both type of connection requests that we have available. I will explain more of this later on, but I want you to see that if you use both types of connection requests, the mobile connection request and the normal connection request, you will be able to maximize your numbers, right? We will come back to this later on. I just want you to see this graphically. Another important numbers that we have here is your social selling index, right? As you all know, LinkedIn is a social selling, well, it's not a social selling platform, right? But they want to make it that people that sell there, they sell in a social way, right? So it's not just sending a great amount of connection requests and trying to see, who is interested or not. LinkedIn is also interested in that you find the right people, so you find relevant people to for your industry, that you engage with them and you build relationships, right? So all these indexes are very important because if this is growing, we know that the limits in your account are growing as well. So pay attention to this if you don't know how to do that. Like we have a lot of article blogs in our webpage where you can read about more the social selling index. All right, so today I want you to go to the LinkedIn settings, and the first thing we need to go is to the LinkedIn account limits. And we need to understand if you need to warm up your account or not. How we know that? Well, simply ask yourself, how many connection requests was I sending before Expanding? If the answer is below 100 connection requests per week, below 100 connection requests per week, you need to warm up your account. Why is that? Well, with the help of Expanding, you can very easily start sending 100 to 150 connection requests per week. But if you were not performing near this limit, right? Let's say that you were sending 40 connection requests per week. You cannot go from 40 to 100 to 150, right? From 1 week to another. That's a little bit suspicious. LinkedIn could spot that you're using an automation tool. So that's why we build this really cool functionality called account warm-up. Basically, you turn this on and you set it like this, 10 to 30, right? you set it 10 to 30 and increase by 1 every day. This will basically limit every action coming from Expandi to 10. So for example, 10 messages, 10 connection requests, 10 invites, and so on to the first day. And it will increase by 1 action every day. So for example, today we can send 10 connection requests. Tomorrow we can send 11, the day after 12, the day after 13, 14, 15, 16, and so on. What are we doing there? We're very slowly increasing your outreach, right? The limits. So you're building up your account, right? And once your account is warm up, we'll basically turn this off for you automatically. You don't have to remember to do it. Once it hits 30 actions per day, we will turn it off for you, and we will turn on limit ranges. Because after the account warm up, there's actually 2 ways of limiting every action coming from your account. It's either limit ranges or interaction settings. They both do the same. They both put a limit on every action. So this is the same list of actions, right? But they're just doing it in a slightly different way. In interaction settings, you set the max amount of connection requests that you want to send every day, and Expandi will try to send that number, to hit that number every day. In this case, for example, 29, Expandi will try to send every day 29 connection requests. We prefer limit ranges, and that's why after the account warm up, we will turn this on for you, because limit ranges mimics human behavior. In here, instead of setting the max amount of connection requests that you want to send, you set a range, right? For example, in this case, 25 to 30, and Expandi will randomize the number of connection requests in between this range every day, right? So for example, one day we can send 30, the other day 25, the other day 27, the other day 30 again, right? The same way we work with LinkedIn, right? We're not machines. We're not sitting there and counting how many connection requests I sent today and trying to hit the same number every day. So that's why we prefer limit ranges. And anything that you can do to mimic human behavior, it's welcome, right? A quick tip here for you, right? If you see that, for example, you're performing in between this range, like in your dashboard, you check that every day I'm sending between 25 and 30 connection requests, or I don't know, if you have it 20 to 25, every day you have 20 to 25, and you're doing consistently for a whole month, then what you can do is you can next month try to send 5 more, right? But only if you're every day in the last month you were performing at that level, then next month you can try to send 5 more. No more than 5, right? Put it up, press apply, and let it sit there for another month and keep checking your dashboard. If next month you're performing every day in between 25 and 30 connection requests, then next month you can try to send 5 more. But if you are not consistently sending between 25 and 30, then next month you shouldn't go up, okay? All right. And the next important setting here is this, delete connection requests after. So this by default comes with 60 days. I like to set this to 30 days, right? Why is that? Well, after you start using Expandi and you start sending 100 to 150 connection requests per week, after a couple of weeks, you will have a lot of pending connection requests. But you don't want to have too many pending connection requests because LinkedIn could see you as a spammer, right? So we built this functionality that we can delete every connection request that in this case is 30 days old and it hasn't been accepted, right? So why not let Expandi also do the cleanup for you? Bear in mind that this will only delete connection requests coming from Expandi, right? Not the ones that you send manually. All right, so if you have any questions regarding the LinkedIn account limits, just a quick recap, understand if you need to warm up your account or not, set the account warm up 10 to 30 and increase by 1 every day, and the delete connection request after 30 days, 40 days, 20 days, right? I think 60 is too much. The next important setting is the active time settings, right? The way Expandi works is we are setting up a virtual computer, and this virtual computer will automate all these tasks on your behalf. And this computer will mimic human behavior, right? For example, if during one day we need to send 30 connection requests, 40 messages, and 30 invites, it's not that every invite, every message, every connection request will go at once. right? We will queue all those tasks, and then we will spread them during these active hours here, right? So 8, 6 to 10 hours per day makes automation tool work really well. But remember that during these hours, Expand is working with your LinkedIn, right? So minimize the use of your LinkedIn while Expand is active, right? Especially don't send more manual connection requests, because we are sending connection requests on your behalf, and then you're also on top of that sending more manual connection requests. That could be a red flag for LinkedIn. And as a way of keep mimicking human behavior, just slightly change the start and ending hour of each day, so you don't start and finish every day at the same time. Cool. And the next important setting, so we can set up your account and you can start automating, is the proxy location, right? The proxy location is important because basically the virtual computer that we're setting up on your behalf will have a dedicated IP address, which will only be used for your account, right? That makes Expandy the safest tool in the market. And you can decide what is the location of this proxy in here. And this has to match your personal location. So I live in Spain, this has to be set to Spain. If you live in Portugal, this has to be in Portugal. If you live in the US, it has to be in the US. And please remember to change this location if you travel outside, if you travel abroad and you're planning to use your LinkedIn account from abroad. For example, I live in Spain. If I'm going to the UK for a holiday and I'm planning to use my LinkedIn account from the UK, I will have to remember to change the proxy location. Because the issue could be if I go to the UK, log in to my LinkedIn account from the UK, from English IP address, and then Expandy keeps sending connection requests from a Spanish IP address, right? That's a red flag because you're connecting to the same account from 2 different locations. Good. All right. So if you have any questions regarding how to set up your account, just let me know. And now we set up your account, we are ready to start our first campaign. But before we start the first campaign, what we need to do, we need to add contacts to Expandy so we can assign them to a campaign. And we do that through a search. So I will go to the search tab and press add new search. And in here, we have all the different types of searches that we have in Expandy, right? For example, today I'm going to show you how to do a basic search. A basic search works exactly the same as a Sales Navigator search, right? In both of them, we will go to LinkedIn or Sales Nav. We will look for a certain role, like, I don't know, head of sales, head of product, CEOs, CTOs, whoever is your ICP, right? And we will start applying some filters. Once we are happy with that list of people, we will copy the URL and we will paste it here. Simple as that. Now, if you have Sales Navigator, I suggest that you always use Sales Navigator, because not only because you have more filters there, also you are able to scrape more people from one go. In a basic search, you can bring up to 1,000 leads, a Sales Navigator up to 2,500. But those two are not the only ways of adding contacts to Expandy. For example, we have the company follower search, right? In this one, if you are the owner of a company page on LinkedIn and you want to scrape your followers, we can do that. If you have a CSV file with a list of leads, we can do that. You can import it. The only mandatory field is their LinkedIn profile URL, right? That's the only mandatory field we need on your CSV file. Then we also have the post engagement search, right? This is quite interesting because we are able to scrape people from that interacted with any kind of post on LinkedIn, right? It doesn't have to be your own post. It could be your competitors. It could be your CEO. It could be anyone, right? If you want to reach out to people that interacted with that post, we can do that. Same with a group and event search, right? If you're a member of a group on LinkedIn and you want to scrape the rest of the members, we can do that. And if you're hosting or attending an event on LinkedIn, we can scrape the rest of the attendees. But the goal is always the same, right? We're bringing contacts to Expandi so we can later on assign them to a campaign. So how do I do? I will show you how to do a basic search. We will go to my LinkedIn. Let's say I'm looking for head of products. And of course, I'm looking for people. Let's say I will start pressing some filters like third and second degree connections. And let's say I want them in Portugal, for example. We will see how many of them they are here, right? So around 6,000, right? So I will add more filters, like let's say I want head of products in the IT services industry. It's about 1,100 people, right? Let's say I want to reach out to this head of products because I want to sell them a new app, right? Well, I will just copy this URL here, go back to Expandi, paste it here, press confirm, and add the name of this search. So this is head of product IT Portugal. I will press confirm, and that's it. That's how easy it is to bring the people to Expandi so we can assign them to a campaign. If you see this is starting to retrieve all these contacts, it will take no more than 5 minutes. And once the search is done, it will look like this. It will tell you how many people you scrape, the date, and on a contact level, it will show you a small photograph, the full name, their occupation, and the company that they work for, right? Later on, we can use all this information here to personalize our outreach, right? We can use all this as a placeholder to craft one generic message and being able to personalize it for all of them. So once you have people here, we are ready to assign them to a campaign. So we will go to My Campaigns and we will add a new campaign. The first thing we're asking you is to set the goals of this campaign. Why it is important that you tell us a little bit more about what you want to achieve? Basically, because we have an AI-powered functionality that will help you craft messages or replies, or even read the intent of the replies from your campaign. But all of that is based on the goals that you set here. For example, which audience are you targeting? I'm targeting head of products. What is the value proposition? Offer them a new app, whatever, right? Whatever is your value proposition for them. And what is the goal of your campaign? Well, in this case, for me, it's to generate more leads, right? I will press next. And we do have some templates here, but I will show you how to build your own campaign. And in here, we have all the different types of campaigns that we have in Expandi. Today, I'm going to show you how to create a connector campaign. The connector campaign is our most easier to set up and the most effective campaign, I would say. This will start sending connection requests to the list of leads. And once the connection request is accepted, it will start sending a chain of follow-up messages, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many messages as you want. And you will be able to decide what is the delay between these messages as well. This is a great campaign if you want to grow your network, right, in a fast way. But also, if your goal is to reach out to as many people as possible, right, and you want to send as many connection requests as possible, I suggest that you start a connector campaign and a mobile connector campaign, and you run them in parallel. Why is that? Well, the connector campaign mimics this behavior. Mimics as if I come here and I press connect, connect, connect. At some point, if I send too many connection requests, LinkedIn will tell me, hey, Sebastian, you sent too many connection requests. Wait a couple of days so you can send some more. But if at that point, I log into my LinkedIn account through the LinkedIn app in my phone and I try to send an extra connection request, LinkedIn will let me do that. Even though I reach my limit on the browser, LinkedIn will let me send extra connection requests through my phone. simply because LinkedIn has a separate limit from connection requests coming from the LinkedIn app and the ones coming from your browser. So we can mimic, you don't need to have the LinkedIn app in your phone. We can mimic that behavior from the backend. So these two together, they will maximize the number of connection requests that you're sending. The only difference between these two is that with a mobile connect campaign, you're not able to set a connector message, right? The connection request goes as blank without a note, right? Cool. We also have the builder campaign. I will not show this today, but the builder campaign is our most advanced campaign. And it will let you create your own sequence of actions, like using every action that we can automate. So we can automate visiting profiles, following profiles, like posts, do skill endorsements, send open emails, and many more, right? So if you're interested in this campaign, you can check our help center because we have a lot of articles and videos explaining how to create the best builder campaign. We also have the messenger campaign, right? This is a great campaign if you want to enrich your current network because this will let you send automated messages to your first-degree connections. The event invite campaign, if you are hosting or your company is hosting a lot of events on LinkedIn, this is a great way to invite your first-degree connections to attend to that event. The group and event participant campaign, I like this too, simply because if you're a member of a group or hosting or attending an event, LinkedIn will let you send some messages to the rest of the attendees or to the rest of the members, even though they're not in your network, right? These two, they will let you send some messages to your ICP without skipping the part of sending the connection request, right? So, but today I'm going to show you how to do a connector campaign. So we'll create a blank campaign. And the first thing we need to do is we need to set the steps of this campaign. The first one being to write the connector message. And in here I have a couple of options, right? I can write my own, right? Using these placeholders that we have here. Something like hi, first name, so that you work at company name as a job title, right? Something like this. Basically, we are writing one generic message, but we're using these placeholders and every message will get personalized, right? That's one way of doing it. The other way is the easy way, right? Let AI craft the message for me. If I place here, based on the goals that we said before, this message will get crafted, right? And the last option that you have here is just simply let this in blank. Why? Well, some people, they don't want to send a connection request with a note. Some people, they have a better connection rate without that. So you can leave it as blank if you want. And once you're happy with the connector message, right, you will start adding follow-up messages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many as you want, right? The first follow-up message will go with the delay that you set here after they accept your connection request. So for example, if I set this to 3 days, this will go 3 days after they accept my connection request. If I set it to 12 hours, 12 hours after they accept my connection request. And in here in the body is the same. I can let AI craft the message, or I can use these placeholders to write my own message. And the second follow-up message will go again with the delay that you set here after the previous message, and so on. Once you're happy with this chain of follow-up messages, you simply press Save Messages. This will turn green, and we just simply need to add people here. So we will go to the People tab. And because we created a search before, we say Existing Search, and we go to Head of Product IT, for example, right? We will add them, and basically everyone in this list will get assigned to the campaign. You can also create the search inside the campaign as well. If you do that, same thing that we did before. Basically, everyone that we're scraping, it will get automatically assigned to this campaign. But because we created one, I select this one. I will press Save. everything will turn green here, and I will just activate it, the campaign, and that's how easy to start automating, right? We will start sending connection requests. Once the connection requests are accepted, we will start sending the messages, the follow-up messages, and we will start bringing those leads in. Cool, right? So how does a running campaign look like? For example, in my case, I have 2 running campaigns, right? One for agency owners and one for customer success managers. When you start the campaign, you will start seeing some stats. So how many people receive the connection request? In this case, 67% of the 1,914 people that I added here. 26% of them accepted my connection request, right? But only 3% of them replied to my message. And if I open the campaign, I will be able to see on a contact level what's going on with each of the leads. For example, with this person, I see that I send the connection request, connect requested. I am awaiting the reply. In this case, I see that this is a new contact. They accepted my connection request, right? But I am awaiting the reply on my follow-up message, right? As soon as I found someone like this, if you see every time I'm waiting for something, for the reply, this is still orange because the campaign is still running for them. As soon as someone replies to the follow-up message, this turns blue because the campaign stopped for them. Why is that? Well, simply because if they reply, we will stop sending automated follow-up messages, because maybe in the reply they're asking me a question that the next message is not answering, and I want to be seen as a machine, right? So I will have to come here, read the reply, understand if the next follow-up message is relevant or not. If it is relevant, I simply click here to continue the campaign for them. If it's not relevant, I can write my own reply from here and send it straight from Expandy. There's no need to go back to LinkedIn to send it through the LinkedIn chat. And the last tip here, right? If you click on more, you will see something like create tags or manage tags. I suggest that you use this. For example, I created a tag called lead, so I can start tagging my leads inside this campaign, right? I can press here, I say, okay, this is a lead, right? And later on, I can filter by all the leads that I generated here. And why that is important, right? Because later on, I can see how many leads I generated, but also I can connect Expandy to my CRM, right? We can do that. We have webhooks that connect Expandy to your CRM. It could be any CRM up there, HubSpot, Pipedrive, Salesforce, whatever, right? And the trigger of the webhook to send the information of this lead to your CRM would be every time I tag someone as a lead, right? If you're interested in that, I suggest that you check our help center and you put webhooks. You will need to connect Expandy to your CRM through Zapier or Make.com or N8N, right? A webhook creator, but you will be able to automate the next step, which is once you generate the lead inside Expandy, how we move the information of this lead to my CRM, like to the next step of the sales funnel. All right, we have 10-15 minutes left. I see there's a lot of questions. Let's see. Question from Roberto. I cannot turn the warm-up on. It's probably because of this, Roberto. If you go here, you need to, let's say that you have the limit ranges on, right? You will see that you will not be able to turn this off. You have to turn it off, press apply, and then you will be able to turn it on. Question from Corina. I am totally new to Expandy and want a training to help set up. And so, Corina, this is what we're doing here, right? So if you follow my the steps that I am explaining here, you will be able to start automating. Question from Shirat, can you personalize each message? Not each message, right? Because we need to write one generic message to reach out to everyone. Question from Katia. If I set up several follow-up messages, will they get automatically disabled if the person replies to the first message? Yes, I just explained that. So that's a very good question, Katya. Example, Expandy sends follow-up 1 and then the person replies, will this automatically class in the follow-up 2 and 3? Yes, we will stop it and then you can decide, right? You can reply yourself or you can resume the follow-up messages. Katie, sorry if I am talking too fast. I will send you the recording later, okay? Question from Tristan. If I am working together with a coworker, will Expandy contact the same people? That's a very good question, Tristan. So Expandy, it's built to work in teams as well, right? If you add 2 LinkedIn accounts under the same workspace, by default, we will prevent lead duplication. Let's say that Tristan, you and me will work for the same company. I add a lead to one campaign. Expandy will prevent that you add the same lead to your campaign, right? So yes, if you add the same account, 2 accounts under the same workspace, we will prevent lead duplication. Jack Moore, can you automate sending out emails? Not the credited emails that you have from SalesNav, for example. We can only send open emails, meaning sending an email to a person that has an open profile. To those, yes, we can automate. The credited ones, we don't support them yet. So I see there's more questions here in the Q&A section. Question from Katie. Do you make lists on SalesNav and then import them into Expandy? I am wondering how to import contacts into an Expandy template cadence. So in SalesNav, yes, if you make a list on SalesNav, you just copy paste the URL, Katie, and then you paste it on when we come here and you press add a new search, Sales Navigator search, you put the URL of that list that you created in SalesNav, and this will bring the people to Expandy. Question from Jerry, where do you find the URL for the search? Okay, got it. Yes, so from LinkedIn, basically. Question from Heather. Does this only work for my personal LinkedIn account, or will you recommend we use it for our corporate page? No, this only works per LinkedIn account, right? It doesn't work on a corporate page. Question from Gary. Is the webhook by campaign to the CRM? Basically, yes, is per LinkedIn account to your CRM, right? And then you can select, okay, from which campaigns you want to send the contact to your CRM. Jerry, how would I add a SendSpark video to my message? That's a very good question, right? We support sending personalized videos through Expandy. You will need to have a SendSpark integration. And if you go to the Help Center here and you write SendSpark, right? In here, we have a step-by-step guide showing you how to send personalized videos through Expandy to your ICP, right? This is a great way of boosting your messages. Yes. Give me 1 second. So I answered this one. I answered this one. This one. All right. Question from Eddie. Can you show me how to add multiple LinkedIn accounts in Expandy? Yes, Eddie. So let's say that I added my own LinkedIn account here. So I created my subscription. Then I will basically just add a new. When I am here in the dashboard, I will press add new, and I will add a new LinkedIn account, right? I don't have this because I have a work account, right? But if you click there, basically the next LinkedIn account will be added under your user, so under your workspace, right? Or you can do it from the workspace as well. You can change here, add a new LinkedIn account, then all the LinkedIn accounts under that workspace, we will prevent lead duplication. Very easy. Question from anonymous question. One more on SensePark. Do you need the API from SensePark API key and secret key? Everything is explained on the article, on the Help Center article. Another anonymous question. Can you let us know how it will work for a recruiter? Yes, basically the same, right? And if you have Recruiter Lite, when you go to the search, you have a recruiter search, right? If you have Recruiter Pro, Recruiter Lite, you can add that URL using Recruiter search in here, and we will add those leads here, and then you can simply start sending connection requests and messages to them. Right, I see there's more questions in the chat. Question from Roberto. Any suggestion LinkedIn thought was using automation last weekend as I was traveling in the gate? Any thoughts on how to return expanding back on and not let LinkedIn know? Basically, if you follow every precaution that I told you, that I'm saying here, it's very hard that they will spot you. If you open your LinkedIn account from outside the UK, that could be one reason, right? If you got spot, just don't try to send too many connection requests the first days, right? Don't try to send, I don't know, 30 per day. Put it down a little bit so you start building up your limits again, Roberto. Question from Jerry. If a meter is full in SSI, is that a trigger for false use of LinkedIn? Not, I wouldn't say that. All right. I think I answered all your questions. Thank you so much for joining us today. I will send you the recording of this after when it's available, right? Probably last thing today or first thing tomorrow morning. And good luck to everyone. If you need any help, you can use the chat functionality that we have here. We're a 100% human team, so you will talk with a human through the chat. So don't be shy there as well. And read our Help Center articles because it's very important. Oh, I see there's 2 new questions. Do we have to add the job post URL from LinkedIn so that it will send only to people belonging to that particular bucket? If it's a post, yes, you can create a post search, basically like this one, right? Add a new search and post engagement search, right? If you're posting a job and you want to reach out to the people that engage with that post, yes, you do a post engagement search. And can I add an attached file on the open emails? No, yet. We are not able to attach files through expanding. Sorry about that. All right, guys. Once again, thank you, everyone. Have a great day. See you later. Bye-bye.